about your house.
Tool Talk at the Toolbox. There we go.
Where we bring you a variety of different guests from different areas of the trades. Today's no different. Today we got Michael DeSimone, an entrepreneur, Ray's favorite word, your buzzword, entrepreneur.
Yeah, the word of the week, entrepreneur. We're going to figure it all out today.
He's the owner of DeSimone Professional Property. We're going to figure out, or property care, I should say, and he's a landscape guy. We're going to be talking about landscaping, how to make your yard look nice and pristine.
Pretty, pretty, pretty.
But we couldn't do the show without our sponsors, one of them being Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store that's been serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. Also brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us as we spread a little love. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
Hey, good morning, folks. Good to be here. It's hot. It's still summertime. The grass is growing, and we can't stop it. Humidity's out of sight. We're entering the dog days of summer, called August, one of the hottest months of the year, and definitely one of the most humid. And we'll talk about all that too, and humidity, and what we fight for comfort and all that. But today I'm pretty excited. We got a young man, Michael DeSimone. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great. Michael, how old are you, Michael?
I'm 21 years old.
You heard that. He's 21, right out of youth. Right out of youth, what I call youth, because, well, in today's world, young people today are not connected with hands-on experiences, and this young man right here is what they call an entrepreneur. Are you an entrepreneur, Michael?
I would say that I am, yeah.
Do you know what the word entrepreneur means?
I'm actually reading a book right now called The Entrepreneurial Myth.
Really?
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it kind of talks about how you have, the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. And so it's kind of going through and explaining kind of the meaning of what an entrepreneur is. So I'm not fully through the book yet, but
give me what you have read, because that's a word that I find to be abused with young people today, because it's a buzzword in the education system. You want to be an entrepreneur, have an entrepreneur spirit, be an entrepreneur in life, and so I'm asking you as a 21-year-old young entrepreneur, what do you think it is? Because I've asked students and they really can't give me a definition, but they know how to use that word. One of those buzzwords.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that I'm going to give you the answer that you are looking for.
I'm not looking for anything.
But to me, like, an entrepreneur is someone that's looking to build something, to grow something. And, like, there's the technician, that's the person that, say I'm really good at, mowing lawns or whatever. And I work for someone else who mows lawns, and I say, man, I can mow some lawns. Then I go off on my own and I mow lawns, but the only thing I'm good at is mowing lawns. I'm not good at talking to customers. I'm not good at doing sales. I'm not good at anything like that. That's not an entrepreneur, because all you are really good at is mowing lawns.
He's a grass mower.
Exactly. He's the technician or the grass mower.
That's great. Good information. See, you're doing good teaching me.
Oh, there you go. But, the entrepreneur is the one that is more focused, not necessarily on mowing grass. Mowing grass isn't the entrepreneur's goal or what they may be mowing grass at the moment.
Sure.
But the entrepreneur is focused on something bigger. They're focused on
the bigger picture.
Exactly.
In business.
Yes.
Growing a team, growing a
system,
a company.
Exactly. Yeah.
The complete company.
Yeah.
That's what I would look to as being an entrepreneur. And what I simplify it by saying a complete businessman or woman, for that matter. Someone that's seeking to grow a professional business around a team of people, or separately, whatever, just to grow a situation in business, right?
Absolutely.
pretty much. You're 21.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from?
Originally born in Covington, Georgia, but I was only there for about 4 years before we moved to Charlotte. So pretty much raised in Charlotte, you know, in the Matthews, Mint Hill area.
Right.
So,
And you got siblings?
yeah, I have 3 sisters. I got one older sister who actually just had her first baby.
Cool.
So that's pretty neat to have.
Uncle Michael.
There you go. He called me Uncle Bleeblow.
Uncle Bleeblow.
Yeah, I said, you know, ever since he was born, I've been calling myself Uncle Bleeblow to him, so that hopefully it'll be the first name he says, because, you know, I figure it's easiest to say for a baby. So.
Oh, you calculated that good, didn't you?
Yeah, I got to jump on it. Yeah.
Michael Bleeblow?
Bleeblow. Yeah.
Bleeblow.
He's most likely to
Where'd
say
you
it
get
first.
that from?
Oh, I figured, you know, babies say stuff like that all the time, so you know, maybe he'll say it first. We don't know. But
Well, where'd you go to school?
I was actually homeschooled, so yeah.
All K through 12, you were
K
homeschooled.
through 12 homeschooled, yeah. For my last 2 years of high school, I went to CPCC, the Levine campus.
Yeah.
So I went there, and I did that for the last 2 years of high school. So I kind of.
Now, explain that to me. Why'd you go to Levine the last 2 years of high school? Just curious.
So
what we're doing here is talking your pathway into your career. And you've set your own career pathway, being that you're in landscaping and property maintenance. Okay. But how'd you get there? So, and you're telling me the story about how you got there, being homeschooled. Because you see what we're doing. I gave Michael a tour of the I can't talk today, of the toolbox here. And the toolbox is an interactive learning working space. What's your thoughts on it?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, I think it's great what you're doing here. I mean, because I see all the time, like you said, you know, there's so many people nowadays that don't know any of the basic skills of trade work, or basic, you know, even like you said, how to read a tape measure or anything like that. And it's important that we don't let that slip away from, you know, the young men and women of today's society.
The number one thing, and an idea hit me Friday, and I've got a lot of time on my hands to sit around and think, and I think a great deal about what can we do to change the landscape of the trades, of the interest in the trades. And the number one thing we're missing in our culture to promote or send kids into the trades is one thing, and that's tape measure reading. Can you read a tape measure?
Yeah.
You can.
Thankfully. Yes.
What do you mean, hopefully? Did you say hopefully?
I said like I would hope I could do it. Yeah.
Well, tape measure reading is, to me, I'll give you a great example. Last Thursday, I went out and I did a job for a couple in the south part of town, and I had to raise an oven 1 3/4 inches because they had replaced the microwave oven into a combination air fryer, convection oven, and microwave. And the new oven was smaller in height than the old oven. So the appliance company, Queen City, just slid it in the opening, knowing I was going to show up, raise it, elevate it, and put a filler in there. When I got there, I had to we pulled the appliance out of the hole. And it was not assembled or not installed correctly because they knew we were coming back to put it in there correctly. And at the end of the day, I asked my helper, Mr. Roosevelt, I said, what tool did I use more today than any other tool? Because he's watching and he's learning. And he kept saying, the hammer? I said, no, I didn't hammer anything. The impact driver? No. What tool did I pick up and use more than any other tool? It was a tape measure. Because all the measurements had to be right when I assembled it to slide the microwave in and everything else. If I couldn't read a tape measure, I couldn't have done my job.
Yeah, I mean, we'll maybe get to it later, but like I told you earlier, worked in custom cabinetry for a while.
You know how to read a tape measure.
Yeah.
You just said it, because if you worked in cabinet shop, you more than know how to read a tape measure.
Yeah. I mean, we had to, you know, install these cabinets to, you know, a 1/16 of an inch, you know, play. You know, we only had a 1/16 of an inch, you know, error. So we had to be spot on with it.
You sure do. Matter of fact, when I'm doing rough work, out in the field, I say we're not building cabinets. In other words, there's room for a little wiggle room in this because we're not building cabinets. Although what I did, put the 1.25 inch filler in there, had to be cabinet precise. And it was. At the end of the day, I called the lady of the house in to look at it, and she says, "Ray, that's perfect. What more could you want to hear?" So it looked great. But the point to the story here is the number one tool I used was the tape measure reading. So I'm out to get us a sponsor for Put Tools in Schools, a tape measure manufacturer. Who do you think the largest tape measure manufacturer there is? Who you think?
I don't know who would be the largest, but I know, Milwaukee tape measures. Can't beat them. I love Milwaukee tape measures.
You like Milwaukee tools, probably.
I'm actually more of a DeWalt guy. I mean, I would love to have Milwaukee tools, but I've only ever really had DeWalt money, so I have a lot of DeWalt.
I'm in the same boat,
There you
Michael.
go.
We share that.
Yeah.
Because if Milwaukee would make packages like DeWalt does, we'd have more Milwaukee tools. But they're actually, Milwaukee is the best trade-specific tool there is on the market. And I have several now, and thank you for that. Milwaukee did not donate all our tools. They did donate some pack-outs, as you saw in the toolbox. But as far as having more, I would love to have all Milwaukee tools. But there again, I'm not married to Milwaukee, nor am I married to DeWalt. I could be, if you get my drift,
Yeah.
but definitely Milwaukee's are great tools. But back to your career. So you were homeschooled. You were talking about going to Levine.
Yep.
What did you go to Levine for?
So
Just curious.
I went for construction management to get my associate's degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I started like a dual enrollment program.
Yeah.
So you can do it through the last 2 years of high school, like I talked about. So I went to Levine to do like my, general studies or whatever, get the gen ed out of the way. And then I started taking construction classes at the campus that's in
Harper campus over
It might be Harper, yeah.
Hebron over in
Yeah.
the Hebron campus.
Yep. So I
That's
did
Harper.
some construction classes there, but I ended up dropping out. I didn't make it all the way to the end.
Tom Dietrich, was he your instructor?
I would not remember.
Bald-headed white boy.
I don't think so.
Okay, might not be. I just checking. I know Tom real well.
Oh, okay.
I was on the advisory board over there at that campus for about 18
nice.
to 20 years, a while back.
Yeah.
I didn't do it anymore because the meetings, all they did was talk. Talk, no action. You see what my passion is. I want to put more tools in more kids' hands to make them aware of the career pathways.
Yeah.
So you went to Levine.
Yep.
You took those courses, and then what?
So once I, got into the construction part, my plan was to go and, get the construction management associates, but I ended up getting a job opportunity at the custom cabinetry place.
Where'd you work in custom cabinets, if I might ask?
Carolina Oak & Co. is the place where I
cool.
worked. Yeah.
Good.
So we did, really nice homes. But anyways, the job opportunity for that opened up. They offered me a job, and it kind of had to be full time. So I could either go to school and not have the job.
And how old were you when you got that offer, if I might ask? Because you're just
I believe
21.
I was 16.
16?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That really is.
So,
So when you were 16, they offered you a job in a cabinet shop.
yeah, I had worked previously. The brother of one of the owners was my neighbor for a while.
Right.
And he moved out and he bought this fixer-upper. And so he was doing a lot of renovations on it. And I told him, hey, if you ever want some help renovating your house and have a little extra money, I'd love to help you for some money. And he took me up on it. And we ended up doing a lot. I mean, man, we did a bunch of framing. We did drywall, electrical, plumbing, concrete, a bunch of different stuff in the trades that he was like teaching me as we went. Because he was a kind of a, I wouldn't say a master of all trades, but he knew enough about the trades to, renovate his own
How old
house.
a guy
and
was he, if you don't mind me asking?
He was probably in his 40s, early 40s.
Really? Good.
Yeah.
Great.
His kids
well,
are about
everything
my
you
age.
just mentioned, we offer here.
Yeah.
There's concrete tools here. There's ceramic tile tools here. There's drywall tools here. There's plumbing. There's electrical. There's welding. There's, I go on masonry. All the tools around most of the trades, at least 90 to 95% are in this facility. Now, granted, some of them aren't OSHA approved because they're old school, meaning we don't have the guards or various things, but all that's going to be taken care of. But it's so great to hear a young man like you at 16 getting offered a job in a cabinet shop, and then you went to remodel a house. And I know that was very engaging for you and a heck of an education, was it not?
Yeah, no, it definitely was.
Did you like it?
I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. I loved pretty much every second that I was at that job.
Tools are fun, aren't they?
Oh man, it's so much fun. But the best part I would say about all of it is when you've finished the project, because man, when you're building cabinets, which I didn't do a lot of, I spent probably about 6 months actually building the cabinets.
Right.
But the rest of the time I was there, I was actually installing. So, when you're building, it's kind of fun, but you don't get to see the finished product.
Right.
And I'm very much like a finished product guy. Like I like
Well, you
to
like to see the result.
Exactly. Yeah, I like to
The big
work
picture.
and then see the result after. Yeah. So that was fun. I would love, we'd work in these multi-million-dollar mansions, installing beautiful kitchens, like butlers, pantries. We did a few like dog bathrooms. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Oh, I've seen a few.
Yeah, it's
In
some
Charlotte,
really-
you see everything.
Yeah, we did some movie theaters in people's houses and stuff like
Home
that.
theaters,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So.
Gave you a great exposure to this construction side. Why didn't you stay with that? Just out of, not that you're let go of it now, because that may come back up in your career pathway. The
Yeah.
fact that you've been exposed to it and to feel your passion for it.
Yeah. So, when I started the cabinetry and everything, I really did kind of see it as like a long-term pathway.
Right.
So I went into it wanting to do it, especially after I'd done it for a few months and I'd really grown to like it. I wanted to start going that pathway of the custom cabinetry, not necessarily working for the company that I was with the whole time, but maybe starting my own business in that field. The reason that I was deterred from doing that was mostly just the complications that come with it, because when you're dealing, and we dealt with this type of problem a lot, not that every company deals with it or that every company, has to deal with it or whatever, but we were dealing with a lot of delays from painters, delays from, other contractors, and we have a lot of money tied up in whatever job we're doing because we need to buy the materials. We need to buy all the hinges, all the screws, all the pieces of wood, pay the painters. I mean, we have tens of thousands of dollars tied up in every job, and we don't get paid until we're done. We get, whatever deposit it was.
Sure.
But the money doesn't come in until we're done. And at least at the company that I was at, that was always like a problem. Always that we were tight on money because we have so much money. Exactly. So going into a business as a new entrepreneur, I was a little afraid that would be too messy for me at the moment.
Good insight. Great insight.
But I would have loved to do it otherwise, and I think I'm the type of person that I can have a passion for anything that I'm doing.
I feel that in you, yes.
It's relatively easy for me to like shift that from like cabinetry to like landscaping, if that makes sense.
No, it's. I'll tell you this from experience. It's all the same. It's just different tools.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing in landscaping. You're just using different tools and different pathway. It's all the same. To me, I don't care. I mean, you've seen what you saw out in the toolbox, right?
Yeah.
All these tools. I'm a jack of all trades. That I've done a little bit of everything from water gardens. You've been into water gardens yet? Well, that's part of landscaping. That's why I asked the question. See, I got an opportunity to get into water gardens with koi ponds and that sort of thing. And wow, that was interesting. So let's build a koi pond. So I built a 16-foot diameter koi pond out in Weddington, actually. And I only bring that up because of your passion for doing things. And you're going to come across things, and you're young. You're just getting started good. Matter of fact, how long have you been doing your business?
So I'm at 1 year and 8 months right now.
You're pushing 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. You're 21, so you started at 19, roughly. Cool. That's awesome. I mean, you're well on your way, and you're just getting started. And you can convert all this into whatever dream or pathway you want it to be. You know. Well, so finish your story about how you got into landscape.
Yeah, so, like I said, I was working for the brother of the cabinet company owner, and whenever we finished his renovations, he was like, hey, I really don't have a lot left for you to do, but I don't want to leave you without work. Of course, well, I was working at Publix at the time as a cashier, so I had that job, but I
knew I'd seen you before.
You think so? Hey, maybe. You never know. I run into a lot of people.
Well, as a cashier at a grocery store, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
But, that was a good job, but I wanted to also be doing, a more serious job as well. So he brought me up to his brother, brother-in-law.
Right.
And suggested me for the cabinet job. We did an interview, and they hired me. And, so I started off as a helper. I did that for probably about 1 year that I was a helper for. And then they gave me a truck and trailer and started letting me kind of head up my own jobs and stuff, starting with vanities, living room kind of built-ins and stuff like that.
So installing the cabinets y'all made.
Yeah, so we would have our shop guys build the cabinets. We'd have our painters was actually the building right next to us.
Right.
So it was pretty convenient. We would build them and then send them to the building next door. Everything would get painted. We'd load it all into the trailer and we'd go do our installs. And so I started with the smaller stuff like vanities and bathrooms and the built-ins. And so then it went from that to I did my first full house install, probably like 1.5 years or so into.
And you had a helper.
Yeah.
I know they didn't send you out in the field installing cabinets by yourself.
No, not typically. No. Yeah, but
well, it can be done. I installed a lot of cabinets by myself.
Yeah.
Whole kitchens.
Yeah.
But there's
the hardest part is getting the uppers up by yourself.
Well, there's a methodology to it that you can do it by yourself.
Yeah.
If you know how to do it.
Yeah, if I was ever by myself, we always used cleats,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Slide it up, set it on the cleats, put that first screw in, and there you go.
There you go.
But
so you did it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but
that's great experience.
Oh man,
you were very fortunate to get that experience because you got it early, and it's still with you. You'll never lose that, and you'll always be able to go back to it, because that right there is something. Big need. The construction, the general construction need is just people who are well versed in what you've experienced.
Yeah.
And that's great. Carry on with your story.
Yeah,
Good story.
So I did my first house install, and that's when I really started to realize how complicated and how many steps there are, how many pieces there are to every job.
Details. And details are what sinks the boat.
Yeah, it gets tricky. I mean, I wouldn't say my first job I wouldn't say I did a terrible job, but I was definitely learning. There were so many, everyone's like, hey, do you have this one part? And it's just a little piece of wood, that we can't finish the job without. And I'm like, I didn't get that. I don't have it. So we have to have it painted, and it delays everything by a few days, and
oh yeah,
it could be the smallest thing. Maybe I forgot to bring one hinge, and you can't put you can't finish a job. So I started to learn, details.
Planning.
Like, yeah,
Planning.
write everything down.
Make sure everything's on that truck and trailer that you need. That's the biggest lesson. I've talked, hadn't I, Richton, many times I talked about planning. Planning's the most important part. When I pull out of here to do a job, I still do work out in kitchens, doing ventilation work, vent hoods, downdrafts, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's so important that when I leave out of here in the mornings, like last Thursday, putting that filler in, I knew that day that I was going to have to stop and go to the paint store to match the paint of those cabinets. And so I knew it. But even at that, I had everything else. I had my paint application, all the tools I needed for everything I was going to do that day, to your point. And without that, you're tying up your time and extending the time it takes to finish the job.
Yep.
And when I leave a job, like you want it done, don't you? You want to be able to sit back and say, yeah, I did it. That's a good feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like earlier you said the best part is when you finish the job.
Yep.
No doubt. Gives you a feeling of just great success and empowerment. And that's something I want to ask you. With what your background and what you've learned, don't you feel empowered? Doesn't it give you sense of knowing you can do stuff?
I try to be careful with that type of feeling in particular, just because, it's nice, but it's
Well, you're way ahead of the curve, Michael. Way ahead of the curve. Because most people your age, seriously, don't have a clue. And what you've experienced, you ought to be real happy, because what you've experienced is an education that most people your age don't have.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely
and you can't even go to college and get the education you have, because they don't teach what you did in college. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you've got it, and it'll always be with you, as I said twice now in this conversation. That's powerful. And let me ask you this. Did your parents ever stand in your way on any of this? Because it sounds like you had the freedom to make your own choices.
The only thing, number one, let me just answer it with no. I wouldn't say that they did. Me kind of dropping out of school to work was a little bit of it wasn't, I guess, the most ideal
It was a
thing.
conversation piece.
It was a conversation piece. But kind of what came out of it was, me just saying, listen, I would much rather be working than going to school. I can learn all this type of stuff by going to school, or by going to work.
You are going to school, going to work.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and that's the part that parents are missing. They're not listening to the kids. You don't want to be a plumber. Oh, no, you don't want to be a plumber the rest of your life. Why the heck not? You don't want to be an electrician. Why the heck not? Look what you did. You loved it, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
And you had the opportunity. At 16 years old, do you know by OSHA standards you're not supposed to be on a construction site when you're 16?
Technically, yeah.
Well, I know it's technically.
Yeah.
But how in the world can we teach our youth, such as yourself, how in the world can we do it if we don't expose you to it? But you got great exposure. Great exposure. And then, okay, you went to work at a cabinet shop, and then what?
So,
Sound like you did pretty well, actually.
I think I did okay.
How long did you work at the cabinet shop?
I was there for almost 3 years, I think. Yeah.
Well, you did something right. They didn't fire you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You hung on, and they supported you, gave you a truck and a trailer and a helper, and said, go out there and make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, your employer, did they jump on you for making the small mistakes?
The owners of the company did not, really. They, one of the co-owners, he ended up leaving and starting his own, where he's kind of the main guy and everything. But he was just a great mentor the whole time that I worked there. He's been a great friend even after. We go and get lunch together every few months or so, just catch up. The other, kind of the main owner, great guy as well. Really kind, really gentle, good teacher.
You're so fortunate, Michael.
I really
You
am
really are.
thankful for the teachers that I had at that company. But we had one manager who, we have a great relationship now, and I'm thankful for some of the harshness that was.
I was wondering if that would come to the forefront.
Yeah, well, he was really
Tough love.
really hard on me sometimes. Yeah,
Tough love.
Tough love. And he told me, this, you're going to thank me someday. And I said, it doesn't feel like I will. Maybe.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, but he, a great guy, really nice guy. He would just
Bear down on
he
you.
would bear down on me. And it was sometimes tough because you go to work and you're like, all right, what am I going to get, yelled at for today, or what's going to happen? And
But looking back on it,
yeah, looking back on it, I think I'm thankful for it. Because like I told you earlier, where, that first job that I did, where I'm like forgetting about, a filler to grab or hinges or whatever it is, I forgot a tool that I need, all those types of things. Yeah, it's like one small, I remembered everything else.
but you know what you call that? Critical thinking.
Exactly. That's what he hammered into me.
Because it's the most important thing you can learn. See, when you think critically, you become a creator and a master of your craft. You think beyond the surface. You go deeper into it. And that is a lost, I won't call it an art, it's a human behavior. Critical thinking has gone by the byway. And you've experienced that with your other helpers and people that worked with you. Am I right or wrong?
I would say you're right, yeah.
And you learned early on how important critical thinking is, because actually we're all creators. You're no different. You got to expand and feel your creativity in what you did, and you're so fortunate to have had that. And the teachers you had, the guy yelling at you. If it makes you feel any better, my first big mentor was superintendent that I worked for at 18. And he was just the same way. But later on in life, Michael, he called me up, and when I got on the radio, and he said, I'm proud of you. I said, I couldn't have done it without you, because he gave me a lot of what I know today. But he yelled a lot, said harsh words. But he told me, and I knew it later on, as you're picking up on right now, what he gave me, I couldn't have gotten anywhere else. And it was tough love.
Yeah.
And I give tough love here at the toolbox to the kids. Yep, I might yell, not scream, but yell in a harsh manner, because it's necessary to make an impact. But in today's labor force, we're coddling these kids. Coddling. You weren't coddled, were you?
No, I wouldn't say I was coddled.
Well, that's great. But they're coddling these kids these days with, you can't say this, you can't say that. Well, I don't play by all the rules. But it's great to hear your story, though. Man, it is. Okay, you worked in the cabinet shop. What was the separation?
So the separation started about a year before I actually ended up leaving. My dad, he's been in the trades his whole life too, except for, in the past, 10 years, he started working for a church. Before that, he was in HVAC. He headed up a North Carolina branch of his company, Research Airflow. Or not his company, but the one that he worked for.
Right.
And they did a bunch of, work in the Charlotte area. So he has experience in dealing with customers, experience in, running job sites, making sure that everything's
in the trades.
Exactly. So, it's always been kind of something that he's taught me too, which is why I ended up going into the trades, was like you said, the critical thinking. We used to play a game when I was a kid, Spot the Difference is what he called it. And, it's a simple game, but, you look at, maybe something that's not working right and something that is working right. Well, what's different between the two things?
Exactly.
And that translates into, everything that you do in life pretty much.
You're exactly right. Critical thinking is resourceful. What am I looking for here? You're always looking for solutions.
Exactly.
Always. Thank you. Problem solver.
Yep.
You're a problem solver.
Yeah.
The industry we work in, and you're no different. All we do every day is problem solve.
Yep.
And if you see a problem, you're challenged by that problem, and you want to solve it, right?
Absolutely.
You have a desire. Well, no, that ain't gonna beat me. I'm gonna fix that.
Yep.
Oh, it's the same thing here at the toolbox. We've got you saw the lawnmower up on the work table. That lawnmower on the work table, something was broken. It wouldn't crank. Well, I knew one thing that was broken. We fixed that, but the other anyway, it was troubleshooting. You've got to have resourceful, critical thinking to troubleshoot.
Yep.
You just can't say, "Oh, we'll take it to a repair shop." No, you're at the repair shop.
Yeah. Right here.
We go repair it,
Yeah.
and we'll expound upon that a little later when we get into your current pathway.
Yeah.
But so you're carry on with your
so
departure.
he'd had all this experience, and he kind of came to me and was like, "Hey, I know that you've talked about in the past wanting to, have your own business of some sort, and you didn't go to school, so it might be a good idea to start a business of some sort, and it was an idea that I was, interested in and I wanted to do, and so
your dad kind of egged you on a little bit as far as getting out on your own.
He kind of, here's what he did was he gave me the opportunity, because I, as far as do I have the money to, start up a landscaping business, or really the knowledge of, the knowledge of how to have a business plan or all the right steps to take before you start a business.
Right.
In my head, I'm thinking, well, I'll start a business. I got a push mower already. I got a, little backpack blower. I got electric weed eater. I've got all this stuff. I could just go start knocking on doors. But that was not the way he was thinking. The way he was thinking was, you get a business plan. You get the right equipment for the job. You have everything. And he had
the bigger picture.
Exactly. I would say when we first started, I wasn't looking at the bigger picture. But throughout the process of planning the business, he was able to help me grab onto the bigger picture. And together, we were able to kind of start on that path. And I think that I've been able to grow in that way of now being able to, like you said, be the entrepreneur, see the bigger picture, and be working towards that. But in the beginning, I would say it was mostly him that was seeing the bigger picture. I was thinking small. But we worked on a business plan.
Well, you didn't know any better.
Yeah, I was young. I was starting out. So, everyone's got to learn at some point, But
when do you learn the most? When you apply.
Yeah.
You never learn anything till you apply it, do you?
No.
And then when you apply it, you make mistakes. And what happens when you make mistakes? A learning moment, right?
You learn how to fix your mistakes.
Exactly. So there's an education in failing, right?
Yep.
And one of the things we're doing to our kids is making them afraid of failure. And failure is your biggest enemy, fear. Fear. Fear is no doubt the biggest obstacle you have in life, fear itself. And I see more of that every day in my life than anything else. Well, what if? I don't do what ifs. People use that in conversation. Well, what if? I don't do what ifs. I don't do maybes. We're going to set our pathway and we're going to go down it. Well, what if? Don't no what ifs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you're going to fail, you're going to make mistakes, but every one of those moments are learning moments, teachable moments. Failure to me is great because you'll learn. Because do you want to fail?
No one wants to fail.
No one wants to fail. So it's not your intention to get up in the morning and say, we're going to go mess something up.
What am I screwing up today?
Yeah, what are we going to mess up today?
Although I've met some people that I suspect that they might wake up thinking that.
Well, I don't doubt it, Michael. I've known a few myself.
There you go.
But they're not true professionals or true entrepreneurs or true dedicated people that are dedicated to their craft. And I can tell right now your spirit's one of dedication and love and care. Because not only do you, and this is the other side of the equation, you're in a service business. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You're serving purpose every day, right? Does that make you feel good?
Absolutely. I mean, working without a purpose, you can't, if you don't have a goal in mind or anywhere that you're working towards, it's hard to feel accomplished in anything. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people that, work a 9-to-5 job with no, maybe I don't want to put shade on anybody because everyone's got different goals and everything. But at least for me, when I was working at Publix as a cashier, I didn't feel accomplished at the end of the day. I didn't feel like proud of myself. Like
You didn't look at all your tickets and add them up and say, look what I sold today. Checked out. You didn't do that, did you?
No, because I mean, to me, and to someone that maybe they want to be a manager at Publix or,
Sure.
a CEO or whatever, maybe each day is fulfilling to them. But for me, it wasn't because I didn't have really a purpose at that job. So that's why it wasn't that important.
It wasn't
to me.
purpose filled enough for you.
Yeah.
And that's a great sense of accomplishment in itself at the end of the day, is it not?
Yeah.
So you worked at Publix, and that's in the past, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever go back to Publix. What do you think?
Probably not. Hopefully not. Maybe when I retire someday, I'll get a little,
Well, you can.
little side job.
But Lord of mercy, that's down the road.
Yeah.
So you got with your dad, and you started drawing up a plan. You got a
Yep.
nice little website.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And did you have that ready to go when you took off?
No, actually. So we talked to a few different owners of local landscaping businesses, and even, we have a friend in Kansas City, Missouri. He owns his own landscaping business as well. So we'd call him and talk to him and get his advice, talk to other people. And a lot of what we heard was like, don't worry about a website until you've built the brand enough to where you need a website. So the website's actually pretty recent. We've done that in the last 6 months probably.
Good.
So we didn't start with a website.
Well, you're young anyway, as a company, 2 years old going in here. That's really a young startup.
Yeah. So
awesome.
We started more with flyers, a lot of flyers. So we talked to the owners of the companies that, we got their input on what they did to start up. And not that we took everyone's advice, because some people, what worked for them maybe wasn't something that would make sense for us to do. But we took all the different ideas and kind of put it together into something that would work for us, something that we could manage as a plan to grow the business.
Now, who's we?
Me and my dad.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it was you and your dad primarily.
Yeah, he
Okay.
especially in the startup phase of the business was totally my mentor.
Gotcha.
He was the one.
Awesome.
He's done this type of stuff before. He's put business plans together. He's dealt with all sorts of. He's a black belt in Lean Six Sigma. I don't know if you know what that is.
Nope.
It's a Japanese kind of origin system of processes, basically.
Okay.
So it's kind of designed in the same way like karate, as you've got the different level belts.
Sure.
So you have to go through different
Mental
levels of
discipline.
training, for the system or the Lean Six Sigma to get to the black belt. So he's done a bunch of training, and what this is it's systems. It's all about making systems efficient. So
That's awesome because systems is in everything.
Yeah.
It's like when I helped the girls last week. I volunteered to help, build things with a girls' summer camp.
Yeah.
And what was funny, they were building these things, and I said, everything takes a system. If you've got cuts to do, make all your cuts at one time. If you're going to fasten, do all your fastening at one time. To that point of system I. And that's awesome.
Yeah. So everything that he's been.
So you took his education and training,
Yep.
and he applied it to your situation.
Yeah.
Which is why you do it to start with, isn't it?
Yeah. And it, starting with the processes and everything in
Sure.
place to be as efficient as possible, to be as without mistakes. Everything is methodical. Every step that we've taken since we started the business has been extremely methodical. Like lots of thought, lots of conversation. Nothing has just been done on a whim or anything like that. And I think that's helped us to get where we are today, which I wouldn't have done by myself. For me, I'm naturally...
You're there again. You're very fortunate to have the mentorships that you've had in your life, including your father. And your father's very proud of you.
I would hope so.
Well, he is. Because I had to that's how I met Michael, through his father at a wedding anniversary celebration I went to. And I met your father, a pastor at the church, and we had this conversation because I asked him how many kids he had. And he started telling me and told me, "What's your son do?" And then he expounded upon that. And that's when I said, he told me the story that you're going to share too. And I was pretty impressed. I said, "I want to talk to your son." I really do. And I'm so glad I did, because I love your story. And if we could take this man right here and replicate him amongst all the students out there, we'd have a killer trades program.
That's flattery right there.
Well, I'm serious. We could. There are very few individuals that I've talked to that has your background at 21 years old. And you've gone the official education route, going to CPCC. You went out in the field and worked in the field in the trades with the tools, with the tapes, with the cabinets, all of that. Wow, what an education. And what it is, this is really what bothers me about our education system. You don't have any certificate or anything to substantiate what you've learned. But yet what you've learned is powerful stuff. And you can't get it in a school. You did not go to school to get it. You went to life to get it. That's an education. But it's not recognized as such formally, right?
Yeah.
Or acknowledged as such. But what an education. And that's what I want to focus on right now. To get that kind of training is awesome. You couldn't pay for what you've got. Do you realize that?
I got paid for what I've got now.
Bingo! He got paid to learn what he learned, right?
Yeah.
You went through an apprenticeship program, whether you know it or not. And you got to make choices. You get to choose your pathway. The roots and the background of what you've learned, you're applying it to what you're doing on your own, in your own business now. Powerful stuff. And your father finally said, after your education, and then he even said, you didn't have an education. But you did have an education. See where we're at in the system of America today? You didn't have an education. The heck you didn't. And this is what is driving me crazy. What constitutes an education? Learning. Being empowered, right?
Yeah.
That's an education. And you got a good one. Man, I'll write off on a certificate, but see, certificates is just a piece of paper. Proofs in your actions speak louder than words, right?
Absolutely.
And you're performing the actions to make it all happen. Okay, so y'all, when you went in business, were you solo?
I started solo, yeah. So we started, we passed out the flyers. We started in February, passing flyers out. February.
Coldest month of the year.
Yeah, February 2025 is when we started with the flyers, because the mowing season starts up mid to late March. So we wanted to get a jump on it. So, fast forward to March, the first jobs started coming in, and I was going out on my own to all of them. You're just starting out. It's not a lot. We probably had
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, we had about probably 8 or 10, maybe a little bit more mowing clients that came in from the February flyers, and then we get, mulch jobs, we'd get hedge trimming jobs. So as jobs came that we weren't well equipped enough for, we would, deal with them in the way that we could up until it really was where we needed to maybe buy a new piece of equipment to accommodate
Gotta
it.
grow.
Exactly. So we call it controlled growth. You don't want to, you do one job and you're like, oh, I might do this job all the time. So you buy a bunch of equipment for it. We tried not to do that, but you try to, buy stuff as you need it. And it got to a point where I was out all the time, working, all the time, and I needed a little bit of help. So my younger sister, started working with me.
Now, how did that happen? Now, you go home one day and you're talking to your sister. Was this a conversation piece?
No, so it all kind of started with
How much younger is she than you?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, so she's 19 right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It started with me having a day where I knew I needed help, and me being like, can you please, just for today, come out and just help me get these things done?
So you're begging your sister to come out and help you.
Pretty much. And so, she ended up coming out, and she actually liked it, which I was
Pleasantly
surprised about that. Yeah, she was like, man, that was, it looks great. She has a good time. And so then slowly it became like we had more days where I couldn't get all the work done by myself. And I'd say, hey, you want to help? And she would, sometimes begrudgingly, sometimes not, come help. And, we'd get her paid and everything like that. And after a while it became, she ended up quitting her other job and she was working with me.
What was she doing, if I might ask?
Well, like everyone else in our family, she was working at Publix.
I was going to say the Publix route. That
we
works.
all worked at Publix, yeah.
There's a great thing about youth working at grocery stores, fast food chains, whatever. There's a tremendous growth there in the fact of working with people, interacting with people on a daily basis. That's an education in itself. Wouldn't you agree to that?
Absolutely.
Because when you have a job serving with purpose, and that I put that in the same arena as servitude, working at a Publix, being a cashier. I mean, that's a tremendous starting place because it gives you a work ethic, it gives you the value system around it, and the ability to communicate with people, which is vital. The most important thing we do, period. I don't care what you do, where you do it, what you make, how you make it. Communication is the most important thing we do every day. And then you learn it doing those things, right?
Yeah.
So she quit her job at Publix.
Yeah, she quit her job and she came and started working full time for me. And I'll say this, and I'm going to say it loud and proud because I could not be more proud of her for how,
What's
this girl,
name?
Her name's Emily.
Emily, kudos, baby. Go ahead.
Yeah, at my cabinet company that I worked for, I had helpers a lot older than me. Some of them in their, 30s, some of them, I even had a helper in his late 50s one time who had been doing the work his whole life. And I'm not going to knock anybody, really.
Well, you're fixing to, I think.
I'm fixing,
There's a little bit of indirect.
I will say, sometimes it is really hard to get through to people on what needs to be done, how to do it, what the expectations are for quality.
Critical thinking.
Exactly. And it's hard to teach that. It's
really hard,
impossible.
Isn't it? It starts early. But see, you've had that very fortunate pathway.
Yeah.
God, you've had that in your life, which is great.
Yeah. And
okay, so here you got your sister.
Yeah, I've dealt with all these guys. It's been, some of them were a real difficult struggle to deal with. Yeah, and then I got this young girl. She was 18 when she started working with me. And, I can tell her to go do something. I can give her, say, do it this, and this way. And, man, I don't even have to go look at it. I used to go look at it because, you want to...
Well, you check them. Exactly. Make sure it's done.
Yeah. But Man, after a while, I don't even look. I mean, I know she did a good job. I know whatever I have told her to do, whatever job, I'll send her out on jobs by herself. And, I always have her take pictures and everything, but I don't have any worry that it's not going to be done the way that it needs to be done, or that it won't be done by our company's standards, because, I mean, she rocks it. She does a fantastic job every time.
That's great.
And yeah, I couldn't be happier. People are like, some of my friends ask me that.
Well, I'm going to tell you another part of that, which I've got to expound on a little bit. Part of the reason for this is she's got a mother and a father, a nuclear family. You got a mother, father, siblings living in a household together, sharing life, and your parents had a lot to do with that, raising you 2 kids, or your 4 kids. There's 4 of you, right?
Yeah.
And now here we go. And, I can see that your father's given you a lot of input just by virtue of he was in the trades. And you learned growing up what your father did and how and what. And the fact that he was in the martial arts arena with mental disciplines sure didn't hurt, did it? That in itself was powerful. Well, that's another ingredient that's in this mix here that a lot of kids aren't fortunate to have. And that's a big issue in this country right now, the single parent, the kids being raised by single parents. You didn't have that. Did you?
No.
You had a functional family and a family to come home to and be with and learn from, which is a vital part of culture. I mean, it's the way God intended it. At least that's my point of view. You can say what you want to about it, but that's my point of view. God made man, God made woman, and you have kids, you raise them as a family, and here we go. We raise kids like this, and it's a beautiful thing. So now your sister's working for you full time.
Yeah, I mean, she's out right now.
I was going to say, she's out there humping it right now. Saying, where's Michael?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing marketing today.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I call this. Yeah.
Emily. So is it just you and Emily now?
No, we have another pretty much full-time employee, just a kid that we go to church with. He's 17, so he's still young. We can't have him full-time fully, but, he works with us a good bit.
Is he homeschooled or public school?
He's homeschooled, yeah.
Okay, cool. I met 2 of your church goer boys at the place where the anniversary was held, that party was held. 2 good kids, and I sat down and had a conversation with them.
Was the congregation?
Yeah. 2 good kids. We sat down and talked about it. And they, guess which word they used? The entrepreneurs. They said, yeah, we're, I said, man, true to the word. But anyway, so 2 years. Well, let me take a minute here and talk about our beautiful sponsors, because we couldn't do what we do here at the Toolbox, couldn't do what we do around Put Tools in Schools if we don't have the support we need. It takes a village, like Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store, been in Charlotte market since 1952. Not Queen City Home Store, Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliance. Actually, it was Queen City TV when it all started. Then they moved into other areas, but that's a long time ago. Like we're talking about with this young man, same thing with Mr. Player. He grew and grew and grew. And here we are today with Queen City Home Store. The Player family, outstanding people, outstanding family, put it together, grown a business to what it is today across North and South Carolina. And absolutely wonderful people, wonderful products. If you're looking for furniture, bedding, media being TVs and all the tech around TVs, appliances. Couldn't find a more thorough, broad store out there in the appliance market. If you're looking for whatever you're looking for in the kitchen, Queen City Home Store has you covered. So 704-391-6000. Give them a call online, queencityonline.com. Check out the website. They run specials all the time. Post on the website, queencityonline.com. 704-391-6000. Sometimes you can get next day shipping, next day delivery. They've got a great staff, great installation team. So give them a call. Like I said, reach out to them, queencityonline.com. And let's don't forget our people at Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Your flooring store. Yourflooringteam.com actually is the website. Yourflooringteam.com. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Don't let the name fool you. They come to you. They bring the showroom to you. They've got 4 or 5 vans that they're fully stocked with the flooring they offer. Go online, yourflooringteam.com, set you up an appointment, get them out to your house. Whether you're looking for whole new floors throughout your house, whether it's sanded hardwoods, engineered hardwoods, LVP, LVT, all these initials, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic tile, stair treads, stair runners, custom bound carpets. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, has got anything you need for your flooring, and they'll bring it to you. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, yourflooringteam.com. ABS Insulating. ABS Insulating started by a family and grew to be what it is today, one of the best, I would say, if not one of the best comfort companies out there. When I call it a comfort company, what I mean is they can establish comfort in the older houses with air seal programs, closed cell foam, open cell foam, spray foam insulation, attic encapsulations. They've got the whole area around your comfort and creating a more of a Yeti cooler effect, you know. If older houses in Charlotte, I call them dog crates. Well, ABS Insulating can fix that. Go online, absinsulation.com, and let's don't forget their gutter division. Their gutter division is specifically designed for gutters. Nothing else is on that truck but gutter supplies, gutter materials, gutter products, whether it's gutter protection or new gutters, barrel gutters, copper gutters. Doesn't matter what you need, ABS has got you covered. That's absinsulation.com. And don't forget the people at Kilo Exterminating. Kilo Exterminating, been in Charlotte since 1939, 4 generations old. Yep. Brian Wyndham's no different. He's the manager of Kilo. He is in the family of the Kilos. And great company. And I would highly recommend them. And right now, August, being the hottest month of the year, is a great year to have a great time of the year, the best time of the year, one of them, February being one, August being the other. February being the coldest month of the year, August being the hottest and most humid. A great month to have your crawl space inspected. Go online, kilo.biz, crawl space inspection for wood-destroying insects and more. Get that crawl space checked out. They'll give you 4 to 5 moisture readings to tell you what your moisture content is in your crawl space. If there is a problem, they'll let you know. And they'll also give you an inspection that your crawl space needs about every year or 2 at the most. That's kilo.biz. Give them a call. Today, I'm really happy and kind of tickled a lot. I really am happy that we've got our guest today, and Michael DeSimone. He's talking about 21-year-old young man, entrepreneur, started his own business, but the pathway to get to that business has been a great story, and I really appreciate you sharing that. And we're not through. We're just getting started because he's still growing, still learning, giving that critical thinking stuff. Are you happy with where you're at?
Yeah, I'm happy where I'm at, but I'm also, I don't want to become complacent where I'm at, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. How many hours you work a week, you think?
Man, it varies.
Of course it does.
If you're counting like on the job work or...
No.
Oh.
How many hours do you put mentally to your profession?
A lot. I mean, I don't even know.
It consumes you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you have passion, right? See, when you're passionate about what you do, somebody asked me last week, how many hours a week do you put toward put tools in schools? Every waking minute. It's on my mind. What's that?
7 days a week.
7 days a week, you know. And as you get older, I'm going to suggest that you take some breaks, mental breaks.
I have a rule
Good.
that I break sometimes if I absolutely have to, but I don't work on, well, this rule I never break because it's a religious thing, but I never work on Saturdays. You know, from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, no work. I don't do any of that. But I also have a rule that Sundays I don't work either. I try to take my full 2-day weekend because the rest of my week is go, 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 go.
That's
and
smart.
if I don't take those 2 days, I get burnt out pretty quick. So
You're exactly right. And to that point, when I worked for lead men, I call them lead men, you call them superintendents, call them project managers, call them what you want. They were on the job every day, and they were responsible for the remodeling of a house and whatever we were doing. And I insisted, we set protocols. One of them was you're not going to work on weekends. And if you work on a side job on weekends in home improvement, you won't work for me. Because I firmly believe every working man that works and dedicated to his profession, such as my guys were, and they were great. Just like you, they were dedicated, driven, passionate about what they did. I didn't try, because every one of them, when we disbanded the company, came back to me and said, wow, we didn't realize how good we had it, because you took care of us. You paid us more than we can go out and get. Well, you have to pay your people well to keep them, and then you have to give them good treatment and treat them like human beings to keep them, and treat them well, teach them well, mentor them well, And that today, to you, Mr. Boss Man, is a dying art. It's a dying value. Leadership, and this is something that I'm on big time. Leadership has gone by the byway. Finding good leaders. There aren't many leaders. And why? We're not teaching leadership. Would you agree with that at a young age?
Yeah, I think leadership is something that, like, you said about the education, not through schools, but through experience. Leadership has to be grown through experience. It can't be really taught without on-the-job training.
And proper leadership and mentorship.
Exactly.
Because
if you don't have experience with a good leader teaching you how to be a leader, you'll never be a good leader.
That's right. And leadership is something that has to be taught in our culture. And where do you find good teachers for leadership? Experience. Like your father. He's had the experience. Like the mentors you had with the cabinet company. They had the experience, and you're very fortunate that you've had that. But you also are becoming that. At a 21-year-old young man, there are very few men that have your leadership abilities, even at this young age. And I'm complimenting you, because that's a great value to have. And you're very fortunate to have had it and have the leadership and the guidance and the love. And that tough love, the guy that yelled at you every day. But looking back on it, that stands out, doesn't it, as a great learning experience in your life, because he did teach you. What he taught you to do better was think critically. Am I right or wrong?
You're right, yeah.
So that yelling and being a little bit loud sometimes made you think harder, because you didn't want to mess up. You didn't want to fail, but you're going to anyway, because that's when you learn, right? So you got a 17-year-old part-timer with you now.
Yeah. His name's Johnny. He also, like my sister, does a fantastic job. I mean, he shows up early every day, which I can't even say that about myself at past jobs that I've been in. One of my weakest points has always been being on time. I've struggled with it so much.
How come, you think? Because that's a major discipline. Being on time is so important.
You were on time today. That's a plus.
Yeah, you were on time, and you even caught text. But you did great. You texted me, I'm on the way, I should be there. Perfect. I do that with my customers, just like you did today.
Yep, that's probably why I did it. It's habit with all my customers and everything. So. And
they appreciate that.
Yeah.
And some of them will say, man, I really appreciate you reaching out to me and letting me know. Even if you're late, you can forgive the unprofessionalism attached to it, if that's a word, by literally calling them or texting them, letting them know that you're on the way and you'll be this time. Yeah. That is all in today's world. Showing up is a big benefit, because you don't know how many times, Michael, people have said they never showed.
Yep. I mean, I deal with that all the time where they'll be like, I can't believe you even showed up. And I'll be like, why? Why
Isn't
would
it
I not
amazing
show
how you
up?
hear that?
Yeah.
The bar is the floor.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
It's so easy to make that call, to let people know.
Yeah.
But there are people out there, and most of them are guys, men, or boys. I call them men in boys' clothes, or boys in men's clothes. I don't know which. But either way. Huh?
I'm one of those.
You are?
Boys. Boy, man, whatever you want to call it.
I hear you. Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you're well on your way. Do you like what you're doing?
I love it. Yeah, I really like it. And it's totally different than, cabinetry. And I think, it's got different, pluses, different minuses.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really like the cabinetry, but I think I like this just as much, if not more sometimes. One thing that's a little bit nice about what I do now is you go from, like we talked about, you have, a 16th inch of error. You can only mess up within a 16th inch. There's a lot more forgiveness in landscaping. If you mess something up a little bit. So that allows me to kind of breathe a little bit easier sometimes. But I also have that eye for detail that was kind of, that you
part
learn.
of the cabinetry and part of the details.
Exactly. So I think that translates into, when you're doing landscaping work, you need to have an eye for detail. And if you go from having an eye for detail related to cabinetry and then you go into landscaping, I think it translated pretty good, or it helped. I think it helped shape the way that I do my jobs, or my standard of quality for my jobs and everything.
It sure does.
Yeah, I think as random of a transition as it was, it actually, I think, was a pretty helpful transition, or a transition that I appreciated.
It was more of that education I talked about earlier.
Yeah. That
was part of it. It's an education, and you've gotten it. You've received it. You're exercising that education now. Okay, you're in the business 2 years.
Yep.
How many repeat customers have you got?
It's in the hundreds, I think, at this point. It's probably...
That's awesome. Do you keep track of all your customers?
I do. I have...
A database?
Yeah, I do it through Jobber. I don't know if you've heard of Jobber.
No, I've heard of it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's where I have all my customers listed. I think I probably have anywhere between 200 and 300 leads, you could call them.
Sure.
So people that I've done quotes for and stuff like that. But repeat customers, it's probably 150 to maybe 175.
So you got work to do. You built up your client base, and you got 150 repeat customers.
And that's not regular mowing customers all the time. That's customers that I've done work for that have called me back to do.
I get it.
Yeah.
Now, how many consistent weekly customers do you have?
I think we're at... It's hard for me to say. I should know this number off the top of my head. I don't look at it all the time.
I understand.
It's probably
in the area of it. It can be a general proximity.
30s to 40s, probably.
Well, that keeps you busy all week.
Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of the customers are bi-weekly, so we'll rotate in and out. So I all of my residential customers I try to do in Monday and Tuesday.
So you got commercial customers?
Yeah, I have I think 16 commercial customers.
What would they be? Can I ask? Is it
so they're all through a company called Complete Grounds.
Right.
And they do sales. They sell landscaping jobs in the Charlotte area, and then they sub all of them out. So they'll text me whenever they get work in my area, basically, and they'll say, hey, I got this job. How much would you be able to quote for it? I'll send them a quote. They mark it up for whatever they want to make, and then they send it over to the customer. So all of my commercial customers, except for one of them, I mow for Grace Academy. I don't know if you.
I know Grace Academy. My daughter-in-law's parents own it.
Oh, so you know
Nana
Bob.
Matthews.
Okay, you know Bob Daniel and his wife.
That's her father.
Okay, yeah.
That's
so
my daughter-in-law's father.
that's interesting. Well,
Small
I'll have
world,
to tell
isn't
him
it?
I talked to you then.
Yeah.
But
Matter of
yeah.
fact, their wedding was in the Grace Sanctuary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we take care of their landscaping. We do all that, and that's kind of my only commercial client at this point that I got
A personal.
myself. Yeah. But then all the others are through Complete Grounds. So they're
Gotcha.
technically Complete Grounds customers that we take care of.
Sure.
So
So you're not dealing one-on-one with any other management other than them.
exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
So we do a lot of the Family Dollars and Dollar Generals in the Charlotte area.
Mm-hmm.
We do the Excelsior Club in
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
So we mow for them, which they just tore it down. So we probably won't be doing that too much longer. But at the moment we are. And then that's it right now. I have 2 more commercial jobs kind of in the works right
Gotcha.
now. So
Is there a particular clientele that you like working for out of all that you got?
I like residential most.
Why is that? Just curious. Give me a reason.
So my reason would be, one, it's a little bit easier to deal with residential customers, if that makes sense.
It matters a lot, just like cabinet and remodeling.
Yeah.
You're working for the homeowner.
Yeah, exactly.
And
You
that
have
makes the
one
difference right
point
there.
of contact. You are focused on keeping this one person happy instead of, you go into commercial, I got to keep, for each site, I got to keep like 5 different people happy for everything to be A-okay, And even then, sometimes customers come into these places and they'll make a complaint about something, and no job that I'm taking care of do I want it to be at the point where someone's going to make a complaint about it. But, sometimes things happen.
Stuff happens.
Exactly. And it's just a little bit more complicated to deal with.
I got it.
So
That's what I was expecting the answer to be.
Yeah. I'm sure you were. Yeah. But I like the residential. I like the commercial jobs too. I think it's really nice for me to have that experience with commercial jobs, especially with some. I have a job right now. It's not necessarily a commercial job, but it's for kind of a high profile client. Multi-millionaire, very high expectations for the
OCD is what I call that.
Yeah, there you
Little
go.
obsessive compulsive about things.
No weeds in any beds, no sticks in the lawn, no leaves in the lawn, no nothing. Like everything has to be perfect all the
But
time.
that makes you better, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Those jobs are tough because you have to make sure everything's perfect.
Right.
But it makes every other job that I do feel easier at a higher standard.
Exactly.
So I appreciate it.
Not a bad
for that.
thing.
Yeah.
Picky's a good thing.
Yeah, it teaches
like
you to be
working-
more disciplined.
I
for
like
sure.
working for OCD people. When you walk in the house and all the tables are glass and the carpet's white and there's mirrors on the wall. Whoa, OCD City.
Blankets on everything.
No, they don't have blankets. Everything's just
I'm
meticulous.
saying you got to put your blankets on.
Oh yeah. But you should do that regardless of how detailed and picky they are. I like picky. I really do when it's not out of control.
Yeah.
There have been 1 or 2 jobs in my career that they were over the top. Literally, one lady wouldn't even let me take a picture of the job we did.
Because you were in her house or something?
I was in her house.
Oh, wow.
And I said, but let me take a picture of this curved wall we put in here. Nope, no pictures. What? Anyway, she was a pain in the butt, to be quite frank. And she had a reputation for things. Matter of fact, I brought her name up in a conversation, and somebody said, "Oh, her." I said, "So she's got a reputation." "Oh, yeah." And she did. Look, I'm not talking. There's people picky people everywhere, and that's okay. But unreasonable, there are not many. And most people are great, loving, wonderful people, the vast majority. It sounds like you're well on your way. What's your insights to the future?
For the future, as far as...
I mean, 21 years old, 2 years into it.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
We have kind of our objectives, you know, our yearly objective, 5-year objective.
Sure. Long-range plan.
Exactly, yeah, so...
We did that this week for Put Tools in Schools.
Okay, nice.
Critical pathway.
Yeah.
So you got it.
Yeah, so kind of if we're, you know, next steps right now are, you know, getting a second truck and trailer, obviously, which we're going to be trying to get a second trailer in the next month or so.
What kind of trailer?
We're going to get a dump trailer
Cool.
for more, you know, project-based work, especially with leaf season coming up. So a dump trailer with like a debris loader on it is kind of our next big purchase that we're looking at. And then once we get into the slow season coming up, we're going to get another truck to add to the fleet or whatever.
Yep.
And that truck will be kind of designed to pull the dump trailer. So, you know, looking at getting a little
Sure.
bit of a heavier duty truck.
Truck's just another tool.
Exactly.
You got to get the right truck to be the right tool.
Yep. So that's kind of our objective in that way, you know, small term
Sure.
objectives. So next year, you know, we have our target goal as far as revenue. This year, our goal was not necessarily to get the most revenue possible, but it was to build our systems and the way that we train people, the way that we do every single job, because we need to do every single job with the same system, the same processes, and we need to be able to teach that to every person that comes on. So this year we've been focusing on building those systems and building ways to teach those systems, you know, checklists for loading the truck in the morning, checklists for every job that we do, checklists for, you know, if we have a cleanup, we have a different checklist of what needs to go on the truck. We have a different checklist of what needs to happen at the job, and that's all through Jobber. So we have our employees with their Jobber profiles. They can see the schedule. They can click on every individual job. It's got the checklist for that job. They can click into it, put pictures up and everything. So that's all stuff that we've built this year to help be ready for growth, because next year our goal is to stretch as far as revenue goes. So we're going to be trying to more than double basically what we're going to be hitting this year as far as our target
You're
range.
looking to hire any more people?
Next year, yeah. This year I think we're going to try to stay at 3 people until the beginning of next year, and we're going to try to bring a couple more people on.
Well, now I'm going to ask you a personal question. It's not really personal. It's a business question. You making any money?
Me personally?
Well,
Or the company?
business or whatever.
So I will say...
I just want to hear this answer.
I think this is kind of exciting, so I'll say it. We actually reached the $100,000 mark yesterday.
Awesome.
So,
Congrats,
yeah,
babe.
I'm
That's
very
awesome.
excited about that. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of work. It, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that much money, but
Well, you see what we did here? That's been 10 years in the making.
yeah,
So it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
And you know that.
yeah.
But you're well on your way. Do you want to stay with what you're doing, property maintenance, lawn and care, and what have you?
I eventually want to get into more like hardscaping and stuff like that.
That's where I was. you
Yeah.
know.
My bread and butter right now is mowing lawns. You know, it's not all that we do. It's not really.
No, he said you got mowing, edging, blowing, hedge trimming, mulching pine needles, which is one and the same, leaf removal, power washing. So you're doing it in power washing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Aeration and overseeding.
Yep, we do a lot of bed cleanups, leaf cleanups. We do some tree trimming as far as it's, you know, if it's within, you know,
I
reason,
understand.
we'll do some tree trimming. I've done fence work, built fences for people.
I've got this policy, and I'm going to see if you agree. You mow grass, right?
Yes, sir.
You're mowing grass and there are trees in the yard, and your head hits a limb.
I
Limb
offer
goes.
to cut that limb, yeah.
Am I right?
For a price, I'll cut that limb, yeah.
Well, but you offer it.
Yeah,
But see, when you cut grass, if you're cutting your own grass or anybody cuts your grass, the canopy should be higher than your head.
yep,
So therefore, if you're mowing your grass and you have to do this number
Yep.
and dodge under a limb, limb's got to go.
Yeah, I've offered that in the past like 2 weeks to 2 different people, and they both took me up on it. So there you go.
See, that's the stuff. And what'd you say to them?
I'll just say, you gotta, at least in my experience, I pitch it as far as, you want more sun to reach the grass, we're not able to mow it as well because of, the branches are in the way and everything. And you want more sun, you see you've got these little bare patches. It would help.
Well, let me tell you another little sales thing.
Okay.
Security. You can look out your front door and see everything.
There you go.
With the tree limbs hanging down, it obstructs your view.
Yeah.
So if you establish
30% more safe with a higher canopy.
But you look, and that was what I told people all the time. Cut them limbs. Well, I can't cut them limbs. Can I ask you what you charge for cutting that limb?
I had one job. He had 2 crepe myrtles in the front yard, both with limbs almost touching the
Lord,
ground.
they require manicuring.
Yeah, so I did those 2 for $125.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. So see, you're that business sense about just cutting in. Crepe myrtles are beautiful. I love crepe myrtles because you can pretty much shape them and do what you want to with them.
Yeah.
Over a period of time. Are you learning about plants and a little bit of horticulture in plants and that sort of thing?
Little by little, yeah. I'm not by any means a professional at the moment.
Well, I know that at 21, there's no way because that wasn't your passion. Your passion was maintaining, not growing and learning about plants.
Yeah. So if I have anything, as far as maintaining like a garden, like opportunities to do that, I don't do any of that type of stuff because that's not what I want to do. I don't like that type of stuff. I don't like maintaining gardens and stuff where it has to be, you got to know all about that.
Sure.
But I need to know just basics of it, even just to do what I do. So
let me tell you something. You got to learn about voles, moles, grubs, and yard chemistry.
Yep. I just got certified in ornamental and turf.
That's great.
Pesticides.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot about those type of things in that class. So yeah, I'm trying to further my education in that way. Yeah,
gotcha.
Little by little.
Your dad said you went to a store one day and you had an encounter, and there's a story that goes with it of what it affected. Are you aware of what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Can you share that story?
Yeah.
This is something you go out in the community and you make a difference.
Yes.
And this is a story about a 21-year-old entrepreneur, or you might have been 20 at the time. I don't know. But you went out.
It was a couple months ago. So.
But you made a difference. Tell us about it.
So I'll start by just giving you a little background on everything. I said we take care of the Family Dollars and the Dollar Generals in the area. At these locations, part of the scope of work is that we pick up trash. Yeah, that's just part of what we do.
Sure,
we have to pick
neaten it up. Clean
exactly.
it up.
Yep. We have a 5-gallon bucket. We got to fill it up at every location. If there's any more, we can quote a separate cleanup or anything. But
so wait a minute.
Yeah.
You in your quote, you say we're going to take a 5-gallon bucket and we will fill that bucket up.
Yes.
Okay, carry on. That's cool.
So, I'll be at these locations. I'll be working on picking trash up, and I've had people over and over and over and over and over. I've seen it more times than I can count. Throw trash on the ground right in front of me when I'm here picking up trash. They just set it down, throw it out their window, whatever. People don't care.
I know.
They don't care. They see you, working, trying to clean up a place, make it look nice, and they don't care. Whatever. As if you want to throw trash out your window, we might not get along, but you can do that if you want to. But I was picking up trash at one of these locations one day, and I had this kid. I mean, man, he must have been probably 9 or 10 years old, pretty young. And he was about to walk into the store, and he saw that I was picking up trash. So he just went around to the trash that was easily accessible to him, and he picked up a few different things, and he brought it all over to me in his hands, and I held out my bucket, and he put it in the bucket and went inside. And I mean, man, that stood out to me because, you know, here's this kid who's thinking in a way that these adults, like so many adults, and you would think that adults would be more aware of the fact not to leave trash on the ground, but they're
You would
not.
think.
Yeah, they're not.
Or hope.
Yeah. But I saw this kid doing it, and I was like, man, this kid is like, I don't know, you know, I'm sure, you know, maybe he's not a perfect kid, you know, I don't know. But, man, when I saw him do that, I was thinking, you know, this is the age where you can actually shape him to be doing this for the rest of his life. And so I decided, you know, to, you know, reward him, I guess,
Sure.
for his, you know, his thinking.
Acknowledge his thinking.
Yeah, he helped me out, so I was going to help him out a little bit. So I, whenever I was done with the bucket, went into the store and I found him and told him, you know, hey, I really appreciated you helping me out there. Because I told him, I've had people throw trash down right in front of me, and you're the first person to ever actually help me pick it up. Even if, you know, if something's right in front of someone,
Right.
no one's ever picked it up to help me before, and I really appreciated that. So I'd like to, you know, buy whatever you were going to get in here, basically. And this kid, he was actually right about to check out when I came in, so I caught him at the perfect time. And, well, he tells me, he's like, can I get stuff for my brother too? And I was like, yeah, you know, if you want to, you can get some stuff for your brother. And he asked me, he said, well, how much? Like, what can I get? I said, let's cap it at like $20. And he said, okay. And so he goes and he comes back, and he'd only gotten $9 worth of stuff, which also goes to show you what type of a kid this was. Because I
Right.
told him $20, and he didn't even, you know, most kids, they'd come back with $21 worth of stuff and say, it's close enough, right? But not this kid. I mean, he did $9 worth of stuff and was just so thankful. And so, you know, I got the stuff for him, and I gave him $10, you know, for whatever. Just,
Right.
I mean, I wasn't even going to do that, but just because he had
And
the
that will incent
consideration.
that young man to pick up trash, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, you know, after I did that, well, first of all, the cashier, she was probably, I wouldn't say an older lady, but maybe, you know, in her 40s or so.
Right.
But, you know, she told me, she was like, this type of thing right here that you're doing, and I'm not trying, I don't want to try to make myself sound, I'm just, you know, doing whatever, you know.
You give.
I try
But see,
to.
you don't get unless you give. You know that from church, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta give to get.
That's where you learn that value, right?
Yeah. But, you know, she told me, you know, this is the type of thing that decides where these kids go in life. Like,
Yes.
You know, if he does that type of thing enough, and no one thanks him for it, no one tells him that he's doing a good job, he's going to stop doing it eventually, you know. And she was saying, you know, how important it is to reward these kids for doing the right thing. And, you know, he was so happy. He said, man, you going to be here next week? I said, yeah, I'll be here next week. He's like, I'm going to help you pick up trash. I'll be here next week, you know, help you. And of course, you know, he's a kid. He doesn't have a say
Right.
whether or not he's going to be there. But, you know, he wanted to help again, you know, because you show them that they're doing the right thing, and you make them feel
You
good
empower
about it.
them.
And yeah, you empower them to do it again. So, you know, I thought that was great to see, you know, just a kid in the community that was willing to
Right.
to help out and do the right thing.
This has been an outstanding show today. I got Michael DeSimone here with Michael DeSimone Professional Property Care. That's the name of his thing. He's got a website. What's your website again?
DeSimonePropertyCare.com.
Yeah. And amazing. Great story. Great show. But I've got to ask you from a 21-year-old's point of view, because you're young. Did you grow up? You grew up with technology.
Yeah.
So you've been on phones, laptops, everything your whole life, practically. I'm not saying you had your own phone or anything. That's not the question. But you've grown up with technology. See, I didn't. I grew up, as old as I am, I grew up without it until 1990 is when it started to come in my life. But now we've got AI. What's your thoughts on AI, personally?
Personally,
A 21-year-old's point of view that grew up with technology, I want to know what your opinion of it is.
I would say I was a little bit late to the AI game. I mean, I didn't even know how to like access I didn't know about ChatGPT really until like a couple years ago. Just because.
Well, that's a couple years ago. I still have not gone to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I don't want to. That's
Really? I mean, all my friends were talking about it. I was like, man, that sounds stupid.
That's why I ask you, because of your friends and your environment. You're 21 years old. That is young.
Yeah.
You know how many people I've interviewed at 21? Very, very few. That's why I love this opportunity, because you tell it like it is. I think you will anyway.
Well, here's my opinion. I love it. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
I love AI, and I'll tell you why. Because it has allowed for what I do 100%. I mean, I would not be able to do what I do at the level that I do it without AI.
Really?
I
That's interesting.
would really feel really confident about that, about the fact that I wouldn't be where I'm at without it, because it is an insane way to educate yourself about, one, mechanical aspects. I do all the mechanical repairs on all my equipment.
That's my next area of talking to you. We're going to talk about that.
I mean, I work on my truck. I've only not done like 2 or 3 repairs on my truck just because I didn't have the stuff to do it, basically.
I got you. Oh yeah, you got to have the right tools and equipment.
And every job that I've done, the diagnostic, I use AI for it. I tell it exactly what's happening. I tell it when it's happening, when it's not happening, whatever the problem may be, I can troubleshoot using AI, and it gets me down to a couple different problems. I can narrow it down to whatever it is, and then it tells me exactly how to fix it. It will give me links to the parts that I need to fix it, and that's just the mechanical aspect.
Right.
So that's invaluable to me, because I don't have time to be sitting.
No, I hear. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
And because you've got equipment. How many mowers you got?
I have one mower at the moment. Yeah.
What kind is it?
It's a Wright Standard. So.
Is it pivot steer? What?
Yeah, zero turn.
So you got a pivot steer. Okay. Who fixes it?
I fix it. Yeah.
You fix it.
Yep.
You maintain it. Who sharpens your blades?
I sharpen them. Yeah.
Okay, so you're the maintenance department of DeSimone Property Management, basically, right? And that's great. But you're not afraid to do that, see? And it's because of your background, how you got to where you're at, that you're able to fix that equipment. Am I right or wrong?
You're right, yeah.
It's your sense of self-confidence and the ability you have within you and the attitude, I can fix this.
Yeah.
Would you have it without where you've been?
Probably not.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
No. See the education you've had? Because I was going to ask you who maintained your equipment, because you saw the mower on the table back there. Have you ever been to the dump or recycle center on a Saturday afternoon? You ought to go one day, Michael, and see the lawnmowers people throw away. Why? Because
Just a carburetor or something needs to be replaced.
Not replaced, cleaned out.
Cleaned out.
All you got to do is use carburetor cleaner or blacker thinner or something like that and clean the
main
jets and everything on it. We fixed 2 already in here. And it's simple. We can do it in less than an hour.
Yeah.
Easily. And an hour's taking your time. But you're doing all that in-house, so to speak.
Yeah. I have my garage is like my workshop at the moment.
Sure.
So I have my trailer parked in there. I got my mower sharpening area. I have all my tools. Everything is all in the garage. The aerator. Everything's in the garage at the moment.
You ever plan on buying you a tractor, small lawn tractor? Is that in the plans? Maybe. I'm just curious.
What do you mean by tractor? Just like a farm tractor? Or?
No. Well, that's a great question that you asked. What kind of tractor? You just answered the question, basically. No, you don't want a farm tractor. You want a small yard oriented, like a small bobcat or a small
like a skid steer. That's definitely in the future.
In the future.
Yeah.
A skid steer along those lines.
Yep.
Bobcat, some people call them. I call them skid steers. But, so you got plans to go there.
Yeah.
And you're going to do the maintenance on that equipment as well.
That's the plan.
What you can do.
Yeah. Once it gets, and like we talked about at the very beginning, there's the technician and the entrepreneur. So I don't plan on always fixing the equipment because that's not...
Well, you won't have time.
Always, exactly. That's not always going to be my role. At this point in the business, it makes the most sense for me to do it because I know how to do it for the most part. If I don't know how to do it, I can figure it out.
Well, you're saving a bunch of money.
I mean, even on my truck specifically, just my truck, not counting the mower, not counting anything else, I've saved easily $9,000 in repairs that I would have been charged because I had to change my whole suspension, my brakes. I had to put in a bypass kit for my air injection system. I mean,
do you hear what this young man's saying, folks? Do you hear what he's saying in his story? This is a great podcast. For me, it's been one of the better ones we've had because here's a 21-year-old young man that's gotten a great education that he couldn't have got at any learning institution. None provided your education or could provide the education you've got. The attitude, the willingness to learn, everything, your attitude, incredible because you've been educated the right way. Hands-on. Now, who am I to say the right way? He did, not me. He's a prime example of what you can do as a young man, young lady. Anybody out there at a young age can do everything you've done and beyond. In any direction you want to go. You're not going to find that education in any learning institution in America today. But you got it.
I'm very blessed to have it, yeah.
Yep, but you took it. But you have it, and you took the opportunity, and you did great. And I commend your parents and your family for supporting you in the way they have. Now you got a sister on board that is going to. Do you plan on her staying with you?
She, long term, I don't think will be with the company long term.
Right.
She loves it. She loves the work and everything, but she's more interested in nannying and stuff like that, which she does nannying. So
teaching kids, working with kids.
Not even just that, but she kind of she works for one family at the moment, so she'll take off 1 day a week to work with this family. But there's a specific word for it, and I can't remember, but she basically takes care of their house and their kid.
Right.
So she'll babysit the kid or nanny the kid, but she also is cooking them dinner and making sure the house is clean, the sheets on the beds are changed, the laundry is done. So she does all the house maintenance.
Sure.
And she loves that. I mean, she likes what she does, and she does a great job with me, but her passion is more in the nannying.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Speaking of which, can you cook?
I consider myself a very good cook, and
there you go.
And I'll tell you, the only reason I can say that is because of AI. I use ChatGPT to help me think of I'll maybe want something with chicken, but I want it, I want certain spices in it, but I don't know which ones will go good together. I use it for all of that. I use it to, tell me what flavors will go good together, and it delivers. It makes I've made some really good food. So
you cook a lot apparently, or cook.
I like to. It's kind of, I wouldn't say a lot, but sometimes
you cook
you just
3 times a week.
Probably once or twice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, you see, I love to cook.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I've always loved to cook. So that's good. You got a girlfriend?
I do, yeah. Yep.
You cook for her?
Yeah, sometimes.
She loves it too, doesn't she?
She sometimes loves it. Sometimes, sometimes she tells me that she's loved other stuff more. So,
right.
there's that.
But, how long you been dating her?
We're coming up on 3 years now.
Oh, right.
So,
Got you a keeper, apparently.
Yeah, I actually
Made it 3 years.
Yeah, I've just gotten like the ring and everything, so
Oh, you're divulging now.
I'm divulging. We're going that path soon enough. I haven't actually proposed yet, so
But you
don't tell her. But yeah.
Well, you're telling her right now. She watches this.
No, she's not gonna watch it.
I wouldn't be too sure about
I'll
that.
skip this part.
Because your parents are going to love this.
By the time she watches it, I'll probably propose anyways.
You just cornered yourself there, big
we'll
guy.
See. We'll see.
But that's good.
Yeah,
You're okay with it, I'm sure. She won't be quite as surprised because
Yeah.
I guarantee you she'll watch this podcast.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think about it before I said it. So
Right. Well, that's good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's good. You meet her at church?
Not at church, but through like a church event. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
That's great.
yeah. So we have the same faith, which is really important to me. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. I knew it would be. I know where you came from.
yeah.
That's great. Was there anything you'd like to share with the youth or somebody out there that you could inspire?
Man, I don't know if I'm the type of person to really inspire other people, but
Well, get practice, brother, because you're tomorrow's leader. See, I'm telling you right now that you're a great leader, and you will be a great leader and a teacher. Give it back. Give it back. And never be worried about your competition because you don't have any. If you get up every day and go out and do the best you can every day, be the best version of you can be, the rest will take care of itself. And it already has, hasn't it?
so far, yeah.
Well, so far as where you're starting from, so far is a great experience. Well, let me talk about my sponsors here, and then we're going to wrap this show up because it's been a great show. I don't know if you realize it or not, but we've talked almost 2 hours. It's been a great conversation. Now, how do you feel about the conversation now?
It's been a good conversation. I mean, I feel like you've been a good interviewer, asking all the questions to get, where you wanted to go with everything. And I feel like it's just easy going.
Oh, you're where I wanted to go, and we went there.
Well, there you go.
What about your younger siblings? What are they doing?
I have one younger sister. So, there's the one that works for me.
Right, and you got your uncle badge with the older
one.
Yeah, I got you.
And so
what's she do? Home?
She's a piano teacher.
Oh, cool.
So,
in the music.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, she has her associates in music theory, I think. So she teaches a lot of students. She doesn't teach as much anymore because, she just had a son and everything.
Sure.
So, but
Mothering's more important.
Yeah, she still has a few students that she teaches. So
Great.
yeah.
Well, folks, once again, we couldn't do the show without our sponsors, so let me give them some kudos here. I'll start out with Kilo Exterminating. Kilo Exterminating Company, once again, been in the Charlotte area since 1939. 4 generations, I do believe, as of now. And one of the oldest pest control companies in Charlotte, no question about it. And there's a reason, because they do such darn good work. And they don't come out there trying to sell you over-the-top extras and add-ons and all this. That's not what they're in business to do. They're there to protect your home from wood-destroying insects and more. So give them a call. Go online, kilo.biz. That's kilo.biz. And like I said, August is a great time to have them out to inspect a crawl space. If, in fact, you're on a crawl space, those crawl spaces need to be inspected at least once a year or every 2 years maximum. Most people say every year, but there again, you could postpone it for 2 years, but definitely have your crawl space inspected. Termites can do a lot of damage in a very short time. And now let's move on to ABS Insulating. ABS Insulating, been in the Charlotte area for a long time. And reason being, same as with Kilo, same with all our sponsors. They're great companies. They give great service, and they know what they're doing and can advise you to make the right decision with your particular house and situation. absinsulating.com. Not only insulate your house, make it more comfortable, cut those energy costs down with air seal programs and beyond, and also their gutter division, who can take care of any gutter maintenance issues you have. New downspouts. When I say new downspouts, most spec homes come with builder grade downspouts. They're not big enough. They don't get rid of the water. Speaking of that, we could talk about water control, and I know you could deal with that too a little bit. But that's absinsulating.com. Now Floor Coverings International of Southeast Charlotte. They're in the business to provide floor coverings. Anything you need for your floors, they can provide, be it carpet, LVP, LVT. And I forgot to mention laminate flooring. Laminate flooring's coming on strong because of new composite products. That's the laminate flooring. Got a bad rap when it came out many years ago. Changed the flooring market, actually. But it wasn't the product of today. So check them out. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, yourflooringteam.com. They'll bring the showroom to you with 4 or 5 mobile vans. They bring all their products to your door, your house, so you can sit down in the comfort of your house without getting in this crazy traffic we have, and you can select the flooring of your choice. That's yourflooringteam.com. And most of all, Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store, it's a home store. If you're looking for furnishings of furniture, frou-frou, when I say frou-frou, decorating items, you know what I'm talking about. And appliances, media, bedding, they got a great sales going on quite frequently. Go online, queencityonline.com. Check them out. Their weekly specials posted there. You can literally shop online as well. Yep. Give them a call. Go pick out what you want online, do your search, and figure it out. Or if you need help, give them a call at 704-391-6000. Great staff, very knowledgeable, very informative, and they can guide you in the right direction. That's Queen City Home Store, queencityonline.com, 704-391-6000. And today's show's been a great show with Michael DeSimone, a 21-year-old entrepreneur. And he calls it landscape, but I'm going to call it property management, beautification, of all kinds. Because you're not into total landscaping yet.
No, not yet.
But you will be, won't you?
That's the goal, yeah.
Now, I'm going to go back to water control. Do you hit jobs sometimes after heavy rain and you got water spots that do damage to the yard as you mow?
Yeah, we have some lawns that retain water a lot in specific parts of the yard. We'll typically hold off a little bit longer after rain for jobs like that, or we'll mow up to those points and then weed eat or, push mow depending on, how wet it is. So,
how often does that occur, roughly?
I have one lawn where it's a major problem. So, I say major meaning that it could lightly rain and it'll be too wet to mow for a while.
What's your thoughts on irrigation systems?
Well, I don't do a lot of irrigation work. The most I do.
No, I didn't say irrigation work. I'm saying, what's your opinion of them? Do they cause you any issues?
If there's a leaky head, it'll cause me some issues because it'll be real wet over by it. But
and there's another area that you're going to get very familiar with and good at. Are irrigation systems, because of the need. Charlotte, as you well know, where's most of your work, in South Charlotte or Matthews, Mint Hill?
All of my personal jobs are in the Mint Hill area.
Really?
Yeah. I'd keep it really tight with my residential jobs.
Good. So you've got an area of a demographic that you work for.
Yeah.
And you don't go beyond that. Every man's got to know his limitation.
About not going beyond it, yeah.
Cool. So, and you built a customer base based on that. That's awesome. Well, you're well on your way. I congratulate you, young man.
Thank you.
And now you're going to get married. Wow.
Hopefully.
Well,
Fingers
sometimes.
crossed.
It may not happen this time, but might not. I feel after 3 years. See, after 1 year, anybody dates, I said, okay, it's time to evaluate the situation. And seriously, after a year, you got to know of dating, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a possibility or not.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been at it for 3 years now.
Yeah, it's a little, I'm the type of person where I would have married her like 2 years ago, But
you better let go of that, brother, because it'll get you in trouble.
maybe,
Not in today's world. I'm sorry.
Speaking from experience.
No maybes. When you said 3 years, I said, oh, that one's going to be pretty safe, I think.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was one of those guys too. Okay?
Yeah.
I was married 11 years the first time, and I did make it to 11, but the reason we separated is because I was too young when I got married. But you've got a lot going for you with family and all, so
Yeah.
it's a little different. But it's really not different in today's world. But I wish you nothing but happy and success.
I appreciate it.
And you're well on your way to a very successful life because of your values and your direction. So I hope I hope to talk to you again in the up and coming years, and you inspire other young people that you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, just let me know. I'd always be happy to come on and talk. So
Well, you're a pretty good talker.
I appreciate it.
Good. Well, I've enjoyed it, and I want to thank you for coming in today.
Yeah. Thank you
And
very
folks,
much.
We're on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Go on YouTube, like us, subscribe. We would love that. It makes a difference to the numbers, and we need your support. At puttoolsinschools.org, we're at the toolbox here. The podcast studio is in the toolbox. If you're part of industry and you've seen this today, he exemplifies what we need to become. He exemplifies what we need to become to support our youth, give them the tools, the direction necessary. Let them know, raise the awareness of the opportunities that they have. And that's what this facility is all about. But we need industry support. We cannot do this. He would not have been where he's at today if he didn't have the support from industry, would you?
Absolutely not.
And look what it's done for him. We need to do this for more youth. He exemplifies what we're doing here at the Toolbox. All we're doing is exposing kids to tools as he has been. And it created this entrepreneurial spirit, I can do spirit, and he's done it. Started out with, cabinet making and other things. And now he's expanded into his own business, 21 years old, been at it for going on 2 years. That's exceptional. And we can do that here at the Toolbox by exposing kids to various tools, various of the trades. And I would say all the trades are the same. It just requires different tools and different methodologies. They're all the same. And I say that all the time because I've done them all. I've done the concrete work. I've done the drywall work. I've done carpentry. I'm a master carpenter, so they say. Electrical. I love electrical. I love plumbing. I like fixing cars. I like fixing engines. And that's a spirit. You've got that spirit. Do you realize that?
A little bit, I guess.
Have you ever done the concrete work?
Yeah.
See, so you did concrete work. What'd you do?
Poured like a concrete patio area around a pool. We did around a shed as well. We poured a driveway.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we did a bunch of different stuff.
So you've done a little bit of everything.
Yep.
You got the I can do attitude. That's what we need to inspire kids to have and be. And I don't think you fear failure.
I know it's coming, so I kind of just brace for it sometimes. I know
It's
there's
inevitable.
always the next failure coming up, so I'm braced for it, I
But
guess.
you learn.
Yeah.
You learn. Well, I certainly appreciate you coming in. Folks, go to puttoolsinschools.org. Check us out here at the Toolbox. Check us out as an organization and what we're doing for kids. And he's one of them. We just hadn't been able to get to him personally, but we'll get to other kids and let them be aware of the opportunities. Any closing statements from Mr. Michael DeSimone?
Just thank you for having me. This has been great. It's been a good time.
It has been great. I've enjoyed this thoroughly. It's been a lot of fun. And we're moving up in 1 minute here. We'll be talking 2 hours. That's a beautiful thing because we cut our times back. We're not under the time frame anymore, but this has been a great, interesting, very great conversation about one young man's adventure. And it's all an adventure, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Every Tuesday, podcast right here about your house, and we're going to come up with more tool talk at the Toolbox. Basically, we're going to have a show around this type of show right here, talking to the youth of America here at the podcast studio in the toolbox every week. And we're going to come up, we're in the process of putting that together. And I look forward to it because kids are where it's at. That's tomorrow's workforce. So let's work together. PutToolsInSchools.org. Thank you, Mr. Michael DeSimone. Thank you, folks, for listening. Once again, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Put Tools in Schools channel, About Your House Radio's channel as well. Go on, like us. Spread the word. PutToolsInSchools.org. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, sir.